Where we at? Shit, maybe. Do we keep this open or close it? Keep it open. What's up, lads? So, well, it's just me in here. We'll get some guys in here. What's been happening? Well, actually, it's just me talking to myself at the moment. I'll start the ball rolling of likes and like my own content, first off. But yeah, I just filmed a video. So the guys of you who will watch it back through replay, I just filmed a video on the importance of judgment. And you guys will come to see exactly what it means to be judged. Judgment, what's up? Got some skills. It's good that you're the first one. And I've actually seen you in here before. I remember Pepe. Aladdin Kajak. Good to see you, man. It's a cool name. I'd lean into that. If I had a name of a Disney character, I would lean into it and use it entirely. What's up? You got a name that everyone knows. So what's going on, lads? And yeah, so the last video that I did is on the importance of judgment. Judgment is something that we're all going to go through at the end, because I myself have had a period where I had my near death, and then I saw everything that I had ever, kind of not everything that I had done, but the things that I would miss. And I saw that people that I had touched, both to the upside and the downside, I saw the effect that the smallest gesture can have, like a butterfly effect. You know, the doing of, you can walk down the stairs and I don't know, you walk past someone and you give them a smile, or even if you just say hello, like you just say it selflessly, you know, you're not trying to do it. And how a gesture can mean a lot to men. Gestures mean a lot to guys, like for real. Gestures don't mean as much to a girl, because it's more common that girls, like, you're going to do shit for a girl, especially if she's hot. But if you like hold the elevator open for a guy, or you like hold the door for a dude, guys aren't used to that. Like some guys will be like, kind of like they're really surprised that people do that shit for them. And those sort of gestures, I think they're better hearted stuff. You know, doing things, I think that you should naturally be like, I'm very, I don't know, like respectful, but I believe manners are important. Like manners are very important, you know, where you get something from someone and you thank them. You ask someone for something and you might even say please for it, you know, specifically if you're not paying them, like if they're doing you a favor. I wouldn't say please for someone, obviously, if I'm paying them a normal wage. But if someone does something that, you know, you're to benefit from, you have to have manners. Manners are going, like, you know, you see some of these countries of these people coming in and they're like savages. They have no manners. Like manners is like a lost art to them. And in doing so, they're quite barbaric. Like they're like barbarians running around, and it's not good. Like it's really shit, that sort of thing. It's a race to the bottom, no manners. Like, you know, you line up for the bus, or you line up for a train, or you line up for a taxi, whatever. And then it's just might is right. Like whoever's the strongest or has the biggest group just gets to go on the thing, and the others can get fucked. That's like, you know, that's that barbarian mindset. You know, because then the woman's sitting there with a pram, or like, you know, some old lady is like, I can't get on the bus because all of these like adult men have just pushed through. That's not what men are for. Like men aren't like that. That's why their country has offered their country has failed. Like they left a failed society essentially to help your society now fail under such ideas. It's like the Titanic, but then all the men would have just thrown the women overboard and just taken all the boats and then left. Like that's not what men are for. That's not what men do. But then again, you're dealing with fleers. Like you're dealing with people that didn't even fight for their own country, and then for some reason they're going to fight for yours. They ran from their country. They had a militia and a war there, and they fled. They want you to, they're going to be in your country, and they know now when you have them there, they're fleers, like they're slaves. They're going to be slaves. Like they're scared to fight. That, and also the irony is, I see it a lot in Poland. You see some people who have left like their country, like some Ukrainians or something. They fled their country, and then they come over with all of this bravado because they're coping. Like they're overcompensating. They left a war, and now they're coming to like flex their muscles in a country, but you fled your country. Like if you want to be like big brave man, go tell me how it is in the trenches. Like you left your country, you left during a war. Don't come and posture to me. Like time tested you and you ran. Like don't come and overcompensate in front of me. Like if you fled a war or you fled any fighting situations, don't posture. Don't be aggressive. Why are you trying to create the very environment that you yourself ran from? Like no one's impressed. Like no one's sitting there. You've fled an environment already. Don't have to run from a second one. That's the saying. Hey, Stephen, historically, markets have crashed after a few Fed chair gets instated. With the monetary and fiscal easing coming, do you think Q2 May 2026? That's a very interesting time that you've said that, May 2026. I don't want to give away all of the surprises because essentially that's for SRB crypto. I've given my time where I think the market will top, but I think that you're looking at a very good inflection point of time, specifically for altcoins. I would believe that that's a very big possibility. That's an important number. Maybe not necessarily May. Maybe it extends out to like July or something like that. But you'd be looking at an inflection point. But you understand that you're also looking at a period now where this cycle may go for years more. I always said the 4-year mode will break under this cycle, and it still likely will break, because I don't believe that even if we top in like where it is Q1 Q2, I think this top will be brief. It'll be like a 6 to 9 month crash, and then Bitcoin itself will consolidate back at like 100K, and then Bitcoin itself will run to like 500K, 700K, like for real. Like that's a real thing. Bitcoin can be $1 million in 2028. Like that's true. That's all of the shit. That's what I believe. That's what I think will come. Those sort of ideas I've been pushing for a very, very long time. But there's another, so I give that like a 60, 70% probability, but then I also give like a 30 or 40% probability that this cycle just continues. They continually continue buying Bitcoin on debt, and then essentially buying Bitcoin and Ethereum on debt. This Bitmine idea where they can own like 5 or 10% of the Ether supply, because you're not yet to see what Ether is. Did you see the latest dropping of from Vitalik? They're talking about like people tokens, and then they dropped the Genosis. I don't know how to say it exactly, but the idea around the UBI concept. They dropped kind of what an Ether is. People don't know Ether is not like, it's not a term. It exists as everything. Like Ether is going to be a physical lattice concept. Like your lattice is your conscience connection to God, but there's going to be a physical one, and Ether is going to be very important in that piece of the structure. Ether is very important in the control structure to come. Very, very important. It's pretty obvious. Peter Thiel's Bitmine are buying it by fucking tons. Don't doubt anything Peter Thiel backs. Like, do you not see? He's probably, I don't say one of the greatest investors of all time, but he's definitely up there. He's up there. He's certainly better than Buffett. he's a lot better than Buffett. Like, let's be frank. Buffett is good at valuing companies. He's good at adding value to companies, and he's good at that old school investing. Like he's very good at that. He's a very good front of a company because he comes across. He's still very humble. He's a good speaker. He's the king boomer of investing, but he's not a tech investor. He's not built for the year of the future. Whereas Peter Thiel is a futurist. He's designing the very future that we'll all come to live in. Palantir with other products like that. They're building an idea. I think they have an idea that they're going to start. So they want to build a space station and start synthesizing new drugs and new medications up in space, because the molecular structure is different up there. See, this idea that they're talking about having a base on the moon and building a nuclear plant there, that's because when there's no seismic activity, and the way that the gravity is set up there, the machines and the tech will be more efficient. The chips will be more efficient. That's the truth. There's no like seismic activity because it's not rotating the same. All that shit matters. Like when you start talking about it, it's just the littlest things like that matter. There's no noise. So all that shit will matter up there. That's what they'll build. The control structure will of itself be on the moon. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Whether they'll go to war or not for who has the rights to it, or they'll just monopolize all people. That's all to come. Like either there's going to be such a great war that there's going to be millions and millions and millions and millions of dead, and it will probably be nuclear. Some country, I don't know what, will get fucking nuked off the map. That's possible. But it doesn't make a lot of sense because everyone gets hurt under such a scheme. Like a nuke, the way how powerful they are now, you can't just nuke something and then it just suddenly that country is damaged, because it will damage a lot of everything around. Everyone's so too tied into each other. It would make sense that eventually they just come to some agreement where we'll just monopolize all people under us, under an AI system, as I believe will be. That makes the most sense. How do you change your limiting beliefs about what's possible to be achieved on making lots of money? That's a hard one. You have to have a seed issue. If you have a good relationship with people who have money, a lot of you won't. And when you start to look at people who have money or people who are successful, but success isn't all financial. See, success for you might not be financial. I mean, that's question can be, but you have to come to terms where you get a pen and paper out and you write down all of the things that you want, what you value, what you're willing to essentially let go of. Most of your limitations will come from the people around you. Are you around losers? Because if you're around losers, it's better to just watch content made by millionaires if you want to be a millionaire. It really is. Like, you're better to just absorb what they tell you to do and then just do it. And then it feels like, see, I had a period where I didn't really have a lot of friends or anything like that. And that was a cheat code, because I didn't have fuckwits around. Like a lot of you have friends and things around, and you don't realize that they don't want you to do that well. Like they might not want bad for you. They might not want, you to get hurt or anything like that, but they don't really want you to change. See, my idea, my concept is it's a basilisk concept. Essentially, you get presented the people around you as you are, and you're to the one that can essentially learn from everyone that exists around you is a reflection of you. If you can learn all of the lessons from the people around you, some teach you lessons about your shadow, some teach you lessons about yourself, some teach you what you want to avoid, and then you're able to essentially learn what you can, realize, is this suitable for me or not, and then swipe it to the no column, and then go again. Are you willing to? You've been dealt cards in poker. Are you willing to throw your cards back and get another 5-card draw? Some of you aren't. Some of you are looking at busted cards and you're still like, I don't want to throw them in because I have a pair of fucking 2s. You got a pair of 2s and you think you're going to be able to make it for some reason. You won't throw all your cards in. You'll be like, oh, I need to hold on to these 2s. Like maybe I can get 4 of them. It's very unlikely. Some you just have to throw it in. Reality is giving you something, and if you're not happy with it, you have to throw it back, which means you have to be alone. The Hermit card in Tarot is the strongest card in the deck for men, because Hermit has a lot of chance to become something big. Everything that you want is found in isolation. It's true. You won't learn yourself in the crowd. Crowd is where people hide because they hide from themselves in a crowd. The weakest people in life always have the biggest circle around them. Do you know how many times I've known that and seen it a million times? Those rappers who have a giant entourage, it's because they don't want to be alone. Most of the rappers, their life is a LARP, and they know that. So they don't like to be alone. It's the truth. Everything that you want is going to be discovered solo. Doing your time in Plato's cave, you can do it many times and continually return there over your lifetime, but you have to do your time. The Batman movie, where he essentially is back in the cave after his identity gets crushed by Bane because it was fake, and then he has to rediscover himself and find his hunger again. That happens for a lot of you. A lot of you, though, you want money, but you don't want to suffer to get it. Like money is found in suffering. Money is found in doing things that you don't really want to do. If you think you're going to get rich in an area that everyone wants to get rich in, and you're going to be rich in a way that everyone's going to like you for some reason, that's not true. You can't get rich in an area that like from zero. I'm talking from zero in an area without getting a little bit of like, you're going to be unpopular at times. You're going to be alone. You're going to have to do shit online. It's the truth of the matter. How bad do you want it? That's it. You're going to have to do things alone, study alone, learn from people, often you're going to be the one making errors. You're going to have to put money into learning. And not see money in learning for some of you think that means that you're going to buy like $10,000 trading courses or some crap. That's all fake. Trading is fake. Like trading online is a bullshit concept. Most of those traders only make money selling courses or affiliate links. They do inspect elements on all of their fucking P&Ls and crap, or they open 500 trades at $5 and a couple are good. It's all fake. That whole field is bullshit. That's just like gambling. You think you're going to be rich as a poker player for some reason when everyone, or 99.9% of people that do it fail. You need to be rich in an area that's like, something that you can monetize. I've said it before. You want to master one skill, and then you want to be subject matter expert for that skill. Doesn't mean that you're like the best in the world, because you don't need to be. You just need to teach the person below you. That's it. You get to be a high level guy, and then you teach the mid and the low levels to be high level. And there's an unlimited amount of those if you're in a monetizable skill. And then you can sell information. You sell an information product. It's really not that hard to get, I'm not talking about rich where you're tens of millions of dollars like me, but to get to a point where you're like a millionaire, it's not that hard. But it'll probably take you 3, 4, 5 years to get to a business or an area where you're able to get there. You have to be, visibility is important. If you think that you're going to be like, you don't want to be visible, that's a problem. Because your advantages and the edges and things that you have, a lot of them you have to exploit. You have to be willing to show your face behind your product. A lot of people aren't. But again, if your product is shoddy, then you're probably not going to be happy to show it. But if you're building it, like, you're building a skill, like a real skill, even if it's plumbing, you're known as the plumber in the area, you do content, you do shit online, and then you can teach others because others want to learn what you know. It's not just teach them that. You have an audience. You have people that know you in the sector that you're in. You're seen as a subject matter expert to a degree, like you have a level of visibility. Visibility is very important in 2025. This anon crap, I want to be an anon and I want to be rich. No, that's not that common. It's difficult to know that. It's not easy. It's of course possible, but it's not easy. What's the next questions we're at? I'm reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, and it talks about how being friendly with everyone to smile at people makes your life so much smoother and pleasant. It's true. Of course, it's true because it's true if it's meant from a good position. You're not doing it from a position of fear or like trying to be a people pleaser or something like that. You're just doing it from a period of you feel good, so then it's nice to make others feel good. But people don't exploit it as much. But of course, if you're doing it to people please, some people do that. Like some girls, some guys, people pleasing women and shit. Women, if you're women and friction bonds things, like for real, friction bonds things, like a level of being difficult bonds things to you. Being Teflon or being like too smooth or being like, I don't want to upset people, nothing sticks to that because people know that it's fake. Like this, like agreeing with everything or like, you're too scared to say what you really feel on many things or think on many things and you don't want to tip the boat, so to speak. I'm on a date and I don't want to upset the chick that I'm with. You'll never build a connection because every guy is doing that. Like every guy is being the nice guy. She sees it all the time. She knows it's not congruent. If you can fuck it all, that you're fucking with a mask on, you're not going to be able to dictate any frame control in the relationship. You're going to have no control in the relationship. You're just going to constantly be like, yes, ma'am. You're reactive. See, man is not reactive. Man sets the frame. I'm this way. You can join if you want, but I'm this way. I'm not trying to join you. See, that's needy. That's the thing that doesn't work. Like this whole, like I'm joining a chick. I'm learning myself through a woman. See, that shit is fucking dumb. Like that's how a lot of guys live. Like that's the PUA strategy. Pick up artistry. I'm wearing a mask and I'm a fuckboy, but like I'm going to pretend that I'm a different guy so that I can get my dick wet and then I'm going to bail. And if people like that are honest with themselves, they bail because they know that they've lied. They can't maintain the frame because it's a bullshit frame. If they get a girl at all, they know it's going to fall apart quickly because it's bullshit based. Everyone wants to have like, one girl, two girls, three girls, whatever, but build something with those people would be better than to run around and just try and find a new girl all the time. That's dumb. Doesn't make any sense. If you want to deal with people or even friends, it's the same thing. Like the transient sessions is only because people can't maintain it because they have a lack of communication. Communication for many people is scary. Like they can't communicate. That's the problem. Like these red pill guys and things like that, communication is a big problem for them. And their biggest problem is that they can't be vulnerable. No one will connect to you if you can't be vulnerable. There's nothing that will happen. It's all surface level. It's insecurity based. There's no trust. How are they going to trust you if you're not vulnerable? They've never really seen you. How are they going to, again, you're not going to trust something that you've never known, like you've never seen it. And if you're honest with yourself, you're not scared to be vulnerable because something hurt you before. And now you think that the only way forward is just to like not show any weak points. I don't want to show my attack vectors because, I might get attacked. But the irony is you can't go in or out. So you can't love or accept love. You can't trust or accept trust. It's not real. Like it's not genuine. It's not real. The girl or whatever, or guy, anyone won't bond to you under such a scheme. That's games. You're trying to control like love. You're trying to control your emotions, and emotions are energy and motion, and that they're not, your emotions aren't like, they're not a physical thing here. They've transcended. The same reason you can walk into a room and you can feel how the person feels. You can feel what's happening in that room. If you have empathy and you're sensitive, you can feel what's going on in the room. Some people have the opposite, which is like autism, and they have no idea what's happening in the room. They don't notice any of the soft stuff because they're completely out of tune with who they are. Logic will only take you so far. Logic can also be a prison because you can often project out. You misconstrue social cues because you don't have any, like you're disconnected from your emotions. You try to like put everything in a framework of logic and it doesn't work. Like girls can be dumb and girls can do all of these things and girls can be silly and all of this stuff, and you can't be too serious. Like serious is women don't like serious. It's not to say that you need to be a jester, but you still have to be fun. Fun is like a childlike fun. If you can maintain that, where you can sit down with your kid and still play, like, I don't know, roll around with them on the floor and fuck around and like, pull them around and carry them on your head and all that stuff, and they love all that crap, then that's the thing that sticks around. Like that's the thing that people gel with. It's fun. Everyone's missed. That's the biggest component that you have in life, because life itself is set up. It's very serious. Like the girl has rent struggles. She has struggles at life. She has all of these issues that she already is dealing with. She doesn't want you to now add a bunch of seriousness on top of it. She needs you to be a space where you can handle the serious, and with her, you're quite playful still, which means that it's hard because it's the way that society is set up. You have a lot of stress, but you need to maintain your childlike, like innocent, not innocence in that regard, but where you're still relatable. Like you can still relate to a 20-year-old chick if you're 40. A lot of you are 20 and you can't even relate to a 20-year-old chick because you act like you're 40 years old. Getting old is a mental thing first. I'm 40, but I can still hang out with 20-year-olds and it's pretty normal. I'll tell you guys a cheat code about aging too. You become the people that you're around. If you hang out with 20-year-old people or 20-year-old girls, you're going to age slower. If you hang out with 50-year-old men and you're going to age much faster, you're going to get sick faster. Your body doesn't know exactly who you are. It judges who you are by who's around. So if you're around younger women or you're around younger guys, there's a chemical, there's like a concoction and, pheromones and shit that comes across, and your body and your reality gets like a homeostasis judged by who's around it and what's around it. So if you're around 20-year-olds, your body doesn't really know the difference that it's not 20 anymore. It's going to age slow. You're going to be able to compete for longer versus if you're around old people, then you get old quickly. That's true. Similar reality that if you're around losers, you're likely to be a loser. And if you're around people who are, in the direction that you want to go in, it's contagious because you're taking in the data of the others around and your reality is being set in that sort of way. Stephen, my question is related to liking and engaging with anti ... content. I'm already in the kill list. What can I do? I'd maybe like 20 or 30 years or 40 years down the pipe. But that's the thing. Like there's a real thing. Like if you're engaging on certain, I'll say it straight out, anti-Semitic content, you're on a list. And you think it's funny today, but that list can become a kill list in like 20, 30 years time or less. Understand also that there's a reality where if you're a big problem, they can bring you back. So you die and then they bring you back again and you suffer more. It's real. Like that, those ideas are real. They can keep you in like I don't want to say like a virtual prison, but kind of where you can't leave. Consciousness is we understand it today, but consciousness can very likely be uploaded to a system where you're stuck in a system for an unlimited amount of time in a different form. Yes, but you're still stuck in there. It still feels like you're living every day in a torture chamber. Like that stuff is real. Because it's not what they can do today. It's what they can do in like, obviously 20, 30, 40, 50 years, but what they can do in centuries if you are to believe that this stuff continues. I mean, but there's no upside. Like there's no upside if I jump on and say a bunch of stuff about that specific group. It's not only that. Well, I'd be shadow banned. I mean, I already am. There's 40 people on it. But it's that also it's dangerous. It's dangerous that if you ever get in trouble or get dragged before the courts, they're going to pull up a lot of the shit and they only need to pull up like one or two comments. And then that judge is going to smash the fuck out of you. He's going to give you 2 years for small fucking crap. And you're not going to understand why. That's it. And that's the stuff with that thing. They'll never forget. I've told you guys there are guillotines for real. You think it's a game because like Kanye said a bunch of stuff to psy up you guys into also saying stuff. Kanye is a shill. He's a Hollywood puppet. He was dating the Kardashians. He's a sock puppet. He'll say anything. He's a very fragile, like egotistical man. It's very obvious. He's very sensitive. He's had liposuction. He's very like insecure about who he is. Pretty obvious that. He couldn't lose his money. If he lost his money, he would be nobody. Like, you wouldn't turn and even look at him on the street. He's a nothing other than to be rich. And he has good songs, those sort of things. But don't think that Kanye is standing beside your side. He's not a warrior. He's not a hard man. He's just a talker. He's a sock puppet. He speaks things that incite racial hatred and then also sits back like this. Whoa. That's the thing. Fucking promotes porn and pushes a bunch of porn around and shit like that. He's a degenerate. Parades his chick around nude, and then people for some reason think that means he's a Christian or whatever the fuck he's LARPing as today. People like that are only in those areas to essentially become a god figure themselves. Don't you see that? He's like a cult leader where they leech onto a religion, but they actually want the praise on themselves. That's all it is. He would never submit to Jesus. He wants to be seen as a Jesus figure. It's very different. Like that's the idea. You don't do that and then parade your girl around nude. You don't do that and then post porn on your X platform. You don't do that and advertise OnlyFans and talk about having your own OF and all this shit. That's just the exact opposite. Like, he's a degenerate. He had all of this trouble for, like, his group and brand were to be sold and fucked off. And then all of that pressure went away. And now suddenly he's posting anti-Semitic content. Don't you see the game? Like, I see the game is that essentially a person's been bought off under a lot of pressure that they would lose their brand. And now they've started pushing content that creates division because you like it, because someone jumped on and bought fucking a bunch of his shirts and shit that he never shipped with the Nazi emblem. And they're all on a list. You're on a deep list. Like, if you're buying that sort of propaganda stuff, you're fucked. Like, that's a new level of crime. Like, having posting content online is one thing. If you come into their house and they raid it and you find flags or something like that, that's another level of crime. If they go again and find that you're purchasing or distributing such thing, that's another level of crime. People can do like 10 or 20 years for shit like that. Like, they can create new laws and shit where you're charged as, like, you're pushing some sort of content in that sort of regard, and you're inciting that sort of stuff, and now you're like seen as a leader, even if you're just a guy from the basement. And now you're sitting in there for 10 years, and when you get to prison, you think everyone's going to be giving you high fives, but then they say, no, we're going to move you to a unit full of black people, and we're going to tell them what you've done. And then you fucking try not to get your cheeks clapped every single day. But a lot of people will just sit in protection, but then protection itself probably won't protect you if you're under that sort of a scheme. So understand the prisons are to become torture things. Like, that's the point of them. Who do you think are the denominations that are predominantly now flooding the prison again? That's the thing. Like, you want to be careful of those sort of ideas. You have to be careful. You have to be careful, though, but you're also going to be means tested for your ideas. Like, judgment is real. Conviction is real. If you're to stand there and speak about these ideas that you believe, well, you better be able to speak about them in court. Not sit there and be like, oh, someone else, that was hacked. And that won't work. That won't work. So never say anything or do anything of this period where you don't want to be judged for it. If you're not that serious about it, just don't get involved in it. A lot of people will throw their life away on such ideas. I'm not jumping on and talking about it either now because I know there's no benefit. And I also see the grand scheme of things. I see the end game. The end games are the Palantir robots coming in on a drone, scanning you that you're missing, and then putting a fucking bullet in your head. That's the final form. Actually, probably before that, there'll be a BCI concept where you'll be a troublemaker and you'll be isolated, but then you'll just be removed from society. It's true. Like, you'll be a troublemaker, you won't be able to get a lease, you won't be able to be on the internet, you won't be able to get proper financing, and then you'll be like existing in some little shitty town with kind of cut off from everything. And then if your software or whatever is no one will give a shit. You're a racist. Such an idea. But the leaders of the groups, they will probably publicly. It's true. Anyone who's pushing that sort of idea at a high level is doing it because they're allowed to. See what happens with a movement. If you don't have like a guy that's controlled up at the top, you get all of these like Luigi Mangione types that will just be sitting in the basement somewhere and then snap. And you don't get any idea that they were going to snap, and they can be really dangerous. Versus if you have them under a leader, you can monitor them because you see the leaders talking about things like, and then you can watch the ones that follow him, and you can actually track them and see what's happening and see who they want to watch out for and all of these things. But without that, it's dangerous. Like, protests are dangerous without a leader. Understand that when they do the protests in UK and they have certain leaders, that's all controlled ops. Because the leader has a lot of power. Like, the leader can just say, all right, we've got 1 million people here, let's just go to parliament. So they need a leader. Leader is all paid, 100%. There is no leader of a movement that isn't paid by the government to make sure that movement does not come after them, 100%. Because that's dangerous. Like, you get 1 million men and they go, let's go to Buckingham Palace now. Let's go have a chat, like, for real. That's a movement that's now dangerous. That movement is fucking risky. Like, the government will pay any money to a leader to stay in that sort of position because they can still push them away. We don't want to go here. We just go here and just fuck around and do that. That's all controlled. Like, they're all controlled ops in that sort of regard, 100%. Doesn't mean that also, but there's many levels of control. They can be controlled also by there's others that are in the leadership too there's 1 or 2 as an agent, and they're trying to control them that sort of way. Others are just controlled with money. Others are controlled, they go to prison and they know that they'll go to prison again for life. if they fuck around. So they know they have to form a movement and stand at the front. And then the government and things can also tell them, oh, if you listen to us and trust us, we'll handle this. And then they don't. But yeah, Robinson is, I'm not saying that he's not a patriot or whatever. It's not my position to say who he is. I mean, he's been dragged through the prison system for a considerable time. So I would say he hasn't had it very easy. But the idea that he's fighting for is he's the teeter-totter. See, they created the very issue that they themselves now claim to fix with people like him. The next fix is surveillance and more control. He's going to help that happen because he's doing these these protests and shit, and they can get violent, and then they'll be like, we need to contain people more. And he'll be like, don't worry, it's for your own good that you're contained so that we can get all of these immigrants out and monitor them. And it was never, that was the whole plan all along. More policing, more surveillance, more monitoring, breakdown into districts. He's the teeter-totter, like they create the problem and then they create the solution. Every hero that's pushed to you is not real. Like they're all controlled ops. It doesn't matter that they're not necessarily that they know who they're talking to. It can just be controlled in other ways. It's not like, the prime minister chats to them and says, if you take all this money, we'll do this shit. It's not like that. It's not that simple. But it is all a psyop, yes. But he has a lot of power because he has a lot of people that are behind him. But again, I'm not saying that he's bad or all of this stuff or that he's like an animal or a monster or things like that. It's too complicated. Like it's very complicated at those points because everything is on the line. You're dealing with people at the very top. You're also dealing with the thought of knowing that you're very passionate about the idea. See, the passion is where they get manipulated. The anger. They're angry people so they can be manipulated into a different direction. They lose their logic. Like the madness of crowds is real. When people get into a crowd together, it's much easier to essentially control them because the consciousness breaks down. Like a crowd of people is like a mob. They're not thinking very clearly. That's it. But their biggest threat is that, yes, they would go into some like parliament area or something, so they have to control that because then it would be very dangerous. Someone said it's fiercely compartmentalized. Like most, yeah, I believe it's compartmentalized. I also don't believe that there's one specific agenda. I would imagine that there's quite a few. Like there's a few people that are important that are also pushing to be important in the next system. Like people, you can be an elite and still get eaten by another elite. Like that's the truth of the matter. Like a big shark still eats another shark from time to time if they can. That happens. Like that would be a real thing. There can only be so many leaders into the next like reality that we have. But the best reality or best thing is to push the normal class together. I would assume there's going to be a race war or like a religion war in those countries where two religions get pushed to fight each other. It's not that. It's not even a race war. Or like a religious war. It's a war of people who don't have shit. Like that's the thing. But it will be pushed as like there's like a religious spiel to it because they'll probably burn down a few churches or they might like do harms to mosques or something just to get people to fight each other. Like in those countries, it's possible, and it would be shit to see, but it's possible, right? Like you take people, and if you want them to fight each other, you have to shake them up, and then look at each other and be like, "See, this is your enemy." But the enemy is not someone who has a little bit less than you. Like your enemy is not an immigrant who's a fucking broke boy with no education. It might seem that way because you look out and you're like, he's doing all of this harm, but he got brought in, like he got allowed to come in. The one who let them in is probably a bigger problem, right? Than the one who's here. The one who's here makes more noise, yes. But the one who let them in, it's probably a very big case of treason. They let them in. The judges are softening the damage on them when they run through the court process. They're hurting citizens. It's not the guy doing the damage. Yes, that's one thing. It's the one who's allowing it to happen and propagate and essentially protecting them. That's the biggest problem of all. And when all of this is said and done, no one will be like, there'll be no leadership will go to prison for this. They'll just be pushed out. And understand with politics and things like that, the reason why in the States they're getting all of these really old men through is because they know that all of the changes that are happening now, they don't want to answer to them in 10 years. Like Trump won't be here in 10 years because they know in 10 years' time, people will be asking him some very fucking hard questions. So that's design. Like that's all by design. I still believe Trump will pull a third term. I talked about it already. That's all design because 2020 to 2030, something changed. Something changed in those years, and it'll be a reminder that those are the years that we lost our freedom, 2020 to 2030. Before that, it was all like, it was kind of leading up to it or whatever, or a few things. But it's after the virus, something changed during that period. And those 2020 to 2030 that own nothing, be happy, that's something broke in those period. Something accelerated a lot. Something took the reins of reality away from to a very specific funnel. Trump dodged that bullet. I mean, the bullet strikes him. There's no tech advancements that they were now. There's no Bitcoin acts. There's no all of these pushes through. Something was in his ear to move. I don't believe that it was like he got scanned and it was all a psyop or anything. I don't believe that. I believe something he was meant to live and he lived. I think that they can move things from the future already. I think because all things exist already, something advised him to get the fuck out of the way, or at least come in these earpiece that he had, and he turned. Maybe it was a voice. But how they can do in the future, if you understand the system very well, and they would, they wouldn't need to alter many things from the future to affect the past largely. Like that's all they're already talking about being able to do that now. It's the truth of the matter, all of that shit. So you have to be very again, you have to be careful. If you're to move in front of you move against certain groups, you'll be probably killed before anything even happens. If you get any of these ideas that you're going to do something to specific group members that aren't meant to go, you'll be in prison or killed before you can even act, because they have a means of knowing all of this stuff that's happening before it happens. Anyone who's a threat to break the system that they're trying to build will go or be destroyed. It's true. Everyone I think most people kind of know that. That's the case. I don't think Tate's controlled. I saw that thing that they said that Tate was they had some guy turn up to his house with a thing and was on live stream or some pump fun shit like that. That's just crazy that people are doing stuff like that. But I get it. I guess they know that they're going to get attention and all of this stuff, but it's good that they're okay. I don't think that they're controlled. I don't. It's just, it's not. I don't know how you can think that no one has any control. Like, the algorithm is essentially controlled. Like, to really think that the algorithm itself isn't hostile. If you were to spread a certain message, it will never be put in the algorithm. They can just ban your face so that you're not even on any content from any moment onwards. All the content the algorithm is hostile. The algorithm is only pushing ideas that make you feel bad. So anything pushed in the algorithm is, yes, controlled. Whether the message is controlled or not is one thing, but the algorithm isn't itself controlled. You can be sure of that. Algorithm pushes division. The most divisive content can be promoted. Promotion of different religions and things that make you kind of looking into that, like making you more tolerant of other things. That's the thing. That's the idea of the way forward. Those things, but you can't worry too much. But again, there's no one here. I'm not going to save you. Tate's not going to save you. They're not going to save you. I'm not going to either. You have to save yourself. Again, Plato's cave is the real thing. You see the Batman where he's the kid and then his dad comes down with a rope to pull him out. And then he realizes he has to let the rope go. He's a man now and he has to make that jump himself. A lot of you are in that same position. Where are the best countries to escape the coming mass surveillance and CBDCs? There's no spot. There's nowhere. Everywhere is only a delay. Maybe you delay it 5 years. Maybe you delay it 10 years, but it's all becoming the same. There's going to be nowhere to hide. There's not. There's no country where you're sitting there and you're going to be like, the country had the opportunity to completely take more control of their citizens, but they didn't do it. That's the government. That's what they exist for. It's just the nature of the game. You need to be invested in this technology, really. You can develop, I'm not saying develop some of it and that you want to develop some of the control structure, but you can be invested in the tech. You have to. It's the only way that you can play the game is you have to at least profit off it because it's coming anyway. And that's it. The West has changed and you just got to kind of accept that. That's it. But thinking that you can just sit in another country and they're not going to have digital IDs or they're not going to go digital as well. I believe that they all will because it's the nature of progression. CBDCs are progression. They're progression of finances. Everything's on the phone. They can essentially form a decay and they can just access your wallet. It makes the most sense. You guys don't understand that, you read of Vitalik where he's talking about the new changes for ETH, all of these things. You're going to be likely a token at some point. you on the chain, a token, like you're tokenized, all of your potential and things will be set and speculated upon. They'll be able to extract from you in that sort of regard. Your labor, you'll be able to be kind of like leached off, if that makes sense. So you'd be a token on the blockchain and they can leech off your labor that way. They can speculate on you. You're tokenized entirely. That's the thing. You exist on a UBI concept of CBDCs that'll be on a decay. It's the truth of the matter. Yeah, I get you. It's basically a token now, but you'll be a token and then it'll be different. It'll be, yeah, but it's quite true. It'll just be easier to check and it'll be easier to see what it is that you're up to and all of this other stuff. And it'll be easier to speculate on you, but you'll also be limited in that there'll be social credit as well. So your token will be able to like crash, as it were, based on your like social performance. It's real. Like your future, essentially, guys will short you to the ground because you're not acting appropriately to the social construct, and then your potential and things will crash. You'll only this idea of being tokenized is that you have a ceiling. Like you'll be I'm to be this level and that's it. I can only get this high. I can't be like an astronaut. I'm not. A lot of you not invested in the very control structure that's to come. You don't see how high like stocks like that can go. You know, Bitcoin itself can go to 10 trillion asset class. You know, maybe more. What's that? 500K coin. That's not that different. Stephen, I live in Austria. Should I move to Romania or Dubai? Problem is my country are immigrants and taxes up to 55%. 55% is crazy. Dubai is very good. The tax system is very good here. Dubai is very good in the safety and the way that they structure things. They structure things and have it in a way that it's easy to understand. Like you come here and you know that you respect the government, the culture. They have like a kingdom stuff as well. You respect all of the stuff. I'm a foreigner. It's not for me to really even know. And I don't know anything about that stuff. You respect their religion here. Like, they're predominantly Muslims. But I've never felt like I was, pushed down or anything like that. I've never been pushed, you have to do this. You have to believe that. So I think that Dubai can get a bad rep. Like some people say that it's worse, it's a bad spot or it's not safe. It's very safe. Like Dubai is, you walk around, there's not a lot of violence. I mean, I've probably seen fights like once or twice, and I've been here for a very, probably stayed here like 9 months or 12 months of a year. So I've been here a year straight, I would say. And I've never seen any of that stuff. Dubai works well. The banking's good. It moves in kind of like a vacuum for work. It can be very easy to work and do very well like that. So if I had to pick one, I would probably pick Dubai over Romania. But it depends what you're looking for. Dubai is a great place to work, but Romania, they're different because one's like a lot of countryside. Dubai has some nature, but also Dubai is growing very quickly. Like it's been put together fast. Like I think they show what it's been in the last 10 years and a lot has changed in that period. So it's still being put together, but it's being put together quickly. So it just depends. Like they're quite different like that. Thailand is already rapidly changing, one of more wealthy, family-friendly country. Financially, there's more rules, etc. Yeah, I saw that. I think Thailand itself is changing a lot of the laws, like around money, the money acts and money laundering and shit. They're more strict. Thailand, that is. They're more strict in the money coming in because then they get access to higher level of banking. And when they get access to higher level of banking, it's good to be there because you don't have like flagged accounts and shit. Like if you're moving money from Thailand and you get done for like check for AML, but you want to move it to certain countries, it's not that easy. Like it's not easy to get money out of there and it can be looked at poorly. Like if you have accounts in certain countries and tax office finds out NOS, they might be like, oh, let's run a big audit because this country is non-compliant. And if he's running money through there, he's probably doing something dodgy. And if they audit you, even if you're completely right, like you've been managed, no one wants to be audited. Like they can find something. And sometimes they can find something and be like, let's just fuck this guy over. They can. So you don't want to be associated with certain countries if they're not compliant. Georgia's another that I would look at. Tbilisi, I think is good. The banking is good there. I've not spent a lot, really checked it out. So that's the thing. In Europe is a nice country. Yeah, I like Georgia. I think Georgia would be good. I like Warsaw is still good. Warsaw's still a good spot, but it's not really cheap anymore. Warsaw's changed because now it's full of but if there was to be a war, I mean, then it would get quite cheap there, right? Because a lot of the foreigners will leave, and then the foreigners are the ones propping the markets up. And so, how do you know your shadow self speaking to you? I can feel it in my solar plexus and get a rush of adrenaline. That's just solar plexus and a rush of adrenaline. It's hard to say, and that I don't know these sort of feelings that you're talking about. The rush of adrenaline. You have to pull of the threads when they come up. Anything that can give you an adrenaline rush though is not really great. Like that sort of stuff. Like any thinking that makes you full of adrenaline is not very good. Like how are you to say that it is your shadow? It could be some other crap coming out. That's hard to really imagine. It sounds more of like an addictive quality. Like when I had like if I've had my shadow, I don't feel any adrenaline rushes. Like it should be quite somewhat uncomfortable, not a rush of things. A rush of things sounds more like a mania, like it's a manic thought, like it's a rush. It's exciting, something different. You might have like be like in a manic in that thing, and then you can make bad decisions because it's adrenaline based. Any decisions you make that can form a form of adrenaline are going to be addictive ones. They're risky. Manic is risky. Like if you ever deal with someone who's bipolar or mania or BPD, they have a lot of those like manic quick ideas. And it's not to say that they're bad people, but they make a lot of bad decisions because of them. Anything that essentially, again, you make a quick decision and then it gives you a reward is not great. I wouldn't say that that's your shadow. Shadow's kind of the opposite in that it's quite confronting. It doesn't feel good. It's uncomfortable. Growth itself is uncomfortable. It's not pleasant. Anything that, again, like building ideas or building things or having theories or theses can be exciting as well, like a form of a dopamine thrill. Like watching a podcast can give you a bit of a thrill, like you've done something. But again, it's not in the thrill; it's in the part after that you actually implement something. Like tonight, if you do nothing else, you should write down all of this. Like at least do like a one thought experiment. Write down what it is that you want, and then write down why you don't have it. It's not that's so easy. Like you just do 2 columns. I want to be a millionaire, and then you say you write under it what path do I have to get there, and then say what actually is holding me back from this position. And if you can't make that column empty, you'll never be a millionaire. That's the irony of it. Anything that you can't let go of that's separating you away from your goal, you won't be a millionaire. You won't actually get there. Some guys say I want a good girlfriend, but they're hanging around fuckboys, and if they're honest, they're like, I don't have what I want because I'm seeing a bunch of behavior that it is not what I want. Like no one around me has what I want. So if I'm to spend my time around them, I'm not going to get what I want, obviously. Some people are like a stage, and some people don't see that like people around them can just be a launch pad. They can be a part of a period. You had to do your thing there to learn what you learned or spend your time there. It doesn't mean you don't like them. It doesn't mean you're better than them. It doesn't mean they're shit. You have to live your own life. Life is a lesson on letting go. You can't take some people with you, nor should you want to. Some people that you try to take with you, they're not destined for what it is that you are. And you're trying to, again, egotistically push your shit into their head that's not for them. So it's not going to work. And even if it doesn't work, or it does, they're going to resent you at some point because they don't want it as much as you. And that's not their goal. Like it's not their life path. Some of it is you don't want to be alone. Again, that's it. Some of us take a girl with us who's unsuitable, and we know that, but we don't want to be alone. But she's unsuitable. And then it doesn't matter because you're going to be alone anyway. Eventually, you're going to sit there and be like, I can't deal with this anymore, but I wasted another year in this shit. It's the truth of the matter. That's just the nature of how it goes. What are the 5 skills any man must have to be successful based on your terms? I don't know exactly the skills. I guess skills would be social, like EQ. Intelligence is one. But it's skills and intelligence, I guess it's still all together. Like EQ, IQ, all run together. And to me, as to form your intelligence there. Like what can you do in the real world? Not how many books you've read. Not can you recite data. Like how do you implement? Like how do you put it all together? And then to me, creativity is in there as a form of intelligence as well. It's another piece. Can you create something? Can you take something from in here and put it into the world? Like how do you take something from in here and make it a physical property? Not just this, because this is a computer, but this is the connection to essentially God. That's the difference. The God isn't found in here. It's not found in logic. Your head is a computer. That's all it is. Your heart and your sensitivity and your gut is what transcends time and space. It doesn't have the same limitations that you have, you yourself. But that's the thing. So I guess the other things is skills. I mean, you just need a high value skill, like a high income skill, something that you can scale. Doesn't matter what it is. You know, it can be a trade for some, sales, marketing, something on the internet, something in crypto, something that's you have some sort of development that you've done, and now you've developed a niche or some sort of skill, or you've conquered something that now you can teach to others who also want to conquer the same thing. Some guys can be a dope head and then get off that and then teach others not to be an addict. Some guy can be, again, like a life coach because he himself has conquered many things that were hard, and he's figured out systems and processes that he can teach to others. And now he can scale it out. Maybe it takes him 2 or 3 years to make good money in that way. Some guy can get rich just from being in the gym. They look good, and now they can teach others who also want to look good. Some guy used to be fat, and now he can teach others not to be fat. The idea is teaching someone who's just below you. You don't need to be the best. Like being the best, you don't need to be the best. There's still many that are under you that will be happy to be at a level that you're at. Some guys get rich just teaching like a language. They've learnt Spanish or something, and then they teach others that. There's a lot of like audience for certain things. But anything that you can scale online or move into some information product is ideally like quite ideal. And there's so much in that niche and so many people that want to learn things. Guys can get rich just in teaching people piano because they become seen as like a leader in that space. Not that they're the best artist, but teaching is different. Like the best coach is not going to be the best boxer. Often I've seen the coach isn't a good boxer, but he's a great coach. It's different. Coaching is, essentially it's because you have to deal with people. Like how do you deal with people? Because you're dealing with personal problems a lot. A lot of like coaching is psychology work. They want to learn something, but then you deal with them and you realize that they actually have a lot of limitations for why they aren't actually learning it is what they wanted to learn. And then you realize that's why they couldn't learn it on their own. They have a lot of negative thoughts and a lot of negative crap stuck in there that you have to take out before you teach it to them. Otherwise, they just would have taught themselves. It's the truth. Like you teach someone to lose weight and you lay out their meal plan and then you realize that it's not the meal plan. They have a lot of internal problems. That's why they eat a lot of shit. They're not going to stick to the meal plan that you give them anyway. They're just going to lie to you eventually. It's not just the meal plan because they could have fucking downloaded a meal plan off the internet. You ever coach a guy about girls or talk to them, you realize it's not about the girls. He wants a girl and all of this, but you have to unravel a lot of the shit that they're dealing with to get to a point where they can essentially get what it is that they want. That's why they pay for coaching. Coaching is not just giving someone a piece of information and then telling them to do it. Coaching is essentially you have to unravel the shit for why they couldn't do it themselves. It's true. Like shooting a jump shot is not the same as like playing in the game and being able to do it under pressure. Some people can shoot amazing 3-pointers, but then as soon as the game happens and the cameras are on them or the stress is on them, they crumble. They fuck up. They perform at like 1% of their capacity. And then you have to do all of the psychology work around that, why they are so shit like crappy under pressure. And then you realize that they have a lot of shit that they never dealt with. Some crap happened in the past. And if you can unravel that, then you realize that after you've unraveled that, it was never about the jump shots. It was about that crap from the past that they didn't get over. That's why they couldn't do what they needed to do at the right time. Guys are like that with women. A lot of guys already know how to get women, but their problems are a lot of the crap, negative self-talk or something happened in the past that fucked them over. Same thing for business. A lot of guys have negative distractions, like they're too distracted. Again, a lot of people are distracted, but if they do the inner work, like the seed work of themselves, they realize they're distracting themselves away from a period of pain. Something happened again, and now they distract themselves with a bunch of crap. They fantasize about being rich and all of this shit as though it will fix all of their problems, but in reality, they'll have more free time and then they'll feel worse. They'll replace the free time with some sort of vice because they won't be able to. The more free time you have, the more you have less like crap on your head. You're not worried about bills. You're not worried about all of these things anymore. And now suddenly you're like, I'm really focused on this one thing now. Like this one problem is now really big because there's nothing else to think about. You have to unravel all of that. Like everything is mostly, well, not all, but mostly psychology based. Like people have their mindset is shit. Something happened. They never got over it. They never dealt with it. And that's for every person. It's a little bit different, but usually it's like starts with their family. Something happened with their parents often. Something happened that fucked them over in some way and they never dealt with it. Some people are still codependent in that they're still codependent with their parents. Too much. Their parents are too influential in their lives, and in doing so, they can't pull directly from the ladders. It's true. All of that shit. That's why the Tarot Hermit is the strongest card for men. Really is. It's the strongest card for all of you. For most of you, I guess, I would say probably all. If all of you are not exactly where you wanted to be, you could just wipe your whole reality and just start over. It takes a lot of conviction. That's a big faith move. Like that's a big power move related to faith. That you've presented a thing that you don't link any of it suitable and you throw it all away. And then you wait to see what else you can build from that moment onwards. Can you go deeper in how to go to the seed so we focus on completing a task with a sense of urgency 16 hours a day for years? I don't know, because some people don't have that work ethic. I don't. I'm not working 16 hours a day. I think today I work like 2 hours. So that's the thing. Like everyone's going to be slightly different. But 1 second. Yes, can you go deeper into the thought process? The idea of analyzing a seed is, again, you're alone. So you're alone. There's no distractions. You go to your room or whatever. I don't know who you live with. Maybe you live on your own. But you turn off all of the distractions. You're in a dim room. You put your phone away, like far away. And then you sit and you commit like 30 minutes to an hour to this period. There's no distractions. You don't have any soft music. There's no do it when there's crap happening. You do it in the hours of the dark hours. You don't do it after maybe 2 to 4 for you if you're not used to this, because you'll probably unravel. 2 to 4 is the everything's a multiplier. 2 to 4 a.m. it's the multiplier hour. It's true. That's the witching hours. Satan or the Lucifer is all around at those times. And if he is to attach to you, or some entity is attached to you in that regard, because a lot of you haven't dealt with your shadow, so it triggers a lot of other shit that exists. So it's just 2 to 4 in your standard time. It doesn't work like that. Like everything is based on what you are. There's no time zone sort of shit. That shit's not real. It's your reality is as you're to project it. You don't have to worry about time zones. But that's the thing. Like again, and then you do your 30 minutes to an hour, you commit, you leave your phone away. And when you sit down in your bed or you sit on your desk or whatever, you're comfortable, relaxed. In bed is the best because you can lay back and you're relaxed, but you know that you're not to fall asleep. And then you see what comes up. For a lot of you, the first issue is cope. This is dumb. I don't need to do this. Oh, it's not that serious. You know, this is not working. I want to use my phone. I miss my mommy. I need to talk to my girl and all of this crap. Some distractions because your brain is scared. Because if it reconnects to your heart, it's dangerous. Because a lot of you have unresolved trauma. So it knows that if it connects the heart and the brain, it can't trust that you might spurg out. Like you might flip out. You could jump out of the building. Like it's possible. So if I'm your brain, I don't want the connection to happen anymore. It doesn't need to. Your brain is always focused on keeping you alive. It's focused on longevity. Like it's focused on a period of homeostasis for you. Your heart is not. Your heart is you will do things that are risky. Your logic doesn't make you climb into a burning building to get your mother out. That's not that. That's transcended beyond that. Because your logic says that this is dumb. Like self-preservation is massive. Like this is stupid. I could die here. She's probably going to die anyway. Like what's the point? It's your heart and your gut that essentially do make that decision. And then it can be, again, dangerous. That can be dangerous for you if you've not dealt with the shit that comes up. It can be a period where, again, your brain's like, I'm protecting you from all of this. Don't you know that? And then you push through it. You get a thread comes up, something comes up. Some of you will be like, oh, I wish I had more money for this. And then you'll come to pull on it and be like, why don't I? And then you'll pull on it. And some of you, it's just too uncomfortable. Like you pull that and then see yourself that you just fuck around all day. You'll see that you have a negative relationship with money and that you don't really respect it. You treat people badly who have it. You have some sort of habit that keeps you away from having money. You're gambling or some other bullshit. Some of you will be a thing with girls and be like, oh, I don't have any girls, or I don't think that I'm good with girls. And then again, you have to analyze that sort of things as they come up. You put a spotlight on the ideas and the visions, and ideally the words come up and you can spotlight them in your own mind. And you put them under a lighthouse concept, hits them. And then you can't get away from that idea. It's come up, it's presented an idea to you. Often your subconscious has pushed an idea forward that it wants you to look at. And now you're seeing if you can be trusted with these ideas, because can you open a connection or not? And then you look at it and analyze it, and maybe it has merit. Like maybe there is merit behind it that you're shit with girls. Doesn't mean you always will be, but you might be shit with girls. So now you have to come up with the ideas and the thing to see that it shows you a bunch of shit that you've done that's wrong. Like the times that you crashed out with chicks, the times that you fucked up, the times that you goofed off, and your times that you lost. And you have to face that there is merit to that sort of a thing. And it's okay to have ideas like that. You can't rip an idea like that up. See, those ideas, when they come forward, when they're analyzed and they're not real, you can visualize tearing it up. You can visualize setting it on fire. And those ideas, they start to disappear because you've dealt with it. Like that's one piece of trauma, and now you've dealt with it. But when it's a real idea, you can't rip it up. You can put it in a box, and that's another idea. You have a filing system in your mind, like you can envision it with your imagination. With imagination is everything. Like that's all that matters. These logic crap is pointless. Like you're actually now starting to compartmentalize your brain or your mind exactly as you want it, reality as you want it. You're taking control back. So you've analyzed that it is actually true. You know, you've said that it's a true thing. It doesn't mean that it always will be, but currently it's true. And then you file it away. But actually now you have that and it's filed away. But now you see that there's a seed there. Like that's a seed of power because you have a very negative thought attached to that. And those are the things that can push you into becoming something. Like that's a seed of a driver. Like that's where energy comes from. Instead of energy coming to you where you're coping or you're, you know, looking at it or you're hiding away from it and distracting, you realize there's power there. This is a motivator now. I have to, you know, this is a problem. I've got to move through this. I can get better. And now I'm actually going to use this as a seed. And then one day yourself, you can tear up that idea and be like, actually, this is all bullshit. But now you're actually starting to understand yourself, and you can do that at scale. Like you can continually do those ideas. And then a lot of you, like when you get a level of self-awareness as it pushes forward, you realize you're the problem. Like most of you are the problem for your own lives. And that's the highest level, obviously, like for self-awareness, is that you're responsible for the life that you live. And some of you don't deserve what you want. Not yet. That's fine. I sit there and I don't think sometimes I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind having a wife, but I'm still a fuckboy. Like I have to be honest with myself. I don't sit there and fantasize and LARP. So your content creators are all LARPing. Their life is a complete lie. They're incongruent. If they got anything at all, it's only because they have clout and they're rich. But they're quite unremarkable beyond the like, you know, the glitz and the glamour. I need 660 fucking Rolexes and cars and all because I'm unremarkable. Like I'm just marketer. Like I have very good marketing. It's the veneer looks good, but the content like quality is crap. Like the message sucks as a whole. The message, do push-ups, and that's like all that shit is low value stuff. Like everyone knows that already. But it doesn't matter how big you are or how strong you are. If you haven't done any of the inner work, your life is still going to be shit. If you fall into money, you're going to fuck it up anyway. If you fall into money, you're not going to have done any of the self-work. And if you do get a girl, she's just going to see a dollar sign above your head. And then she's going to fuck you over in some way. Like you haven't done any of the work. The inner work is the deep work. Like that's what hurts the most. Trust me. Going in the boxing gym or sparring or lifting weights is nothing compared to the hurt of the inner work, specifically if you have shit that you haven't dealt with for a long period of time. It's going to be very infected. The wound will be very infected. It doesn't matter how big you get. It doesn't matter how strong you are or how long you can run, or that's irrelevant. Because again, you're putting bricks over a broken interior. So the seed is fucked. It doesn't matter how big and how strong you get on the outside. That's all a wall. Like it's a wall of cope. People are going to trigger you in some way. You're going to be essentially, again, knocking down reality again and again and again for you, because the Jung idea, the Jung concept is reality itself, and life will knock you down again and again and again until you become as you are meant to be. That's true. You can't get away from it because your shadow sits back and it notices the incongruencies and it gets uncomfortable. Your shadow will watch you all of the time, whether it's your subconscious or whatever it is that you believe. And if you are incongruent, as it was with Batman and Bane, see, Bane is Batman's shadow. Batman was incongruent, lying about the Two-Face story where he's like, oh, he was a good guy, but he actually had become an animal. And then in that moment, Bane surfaced and smashed the image of Batman because he wasn't congruent. He was a shower of justice and truth, but in that moment, he was a liar. So he smashed the mask and smashed everything that it was that he wore, because that's how reality works. It's true. Something will come up that is your bane and it'll destroy everything around you. And you manifested it. That's true. It's the truth of the matter. How can I be emotionally strong and get strongly attached to people and get hurt easily? Is crying okay for men? I don't know about that. I think that if you to say that you're not emotionally strong, being attached to people attached to people is still a period that you can only attach when it's safe to do so. Like some people have an attachment disorder in that they overcommit too quickly. They think that they've met someone and they overshare fast. They try to build like a bond quickly. Doesn't work like that. Like you're building rapport too fast. A lot of that stuff doesn't work over it mostly will fall over. Most familiarity or whatever it is that you say, it takes a certain amount of like pings or attempts or moments with a person. Some of the best friends that you meet, you didn't talk for like 2 or 3 months after seeing them. And then it just naturally grow together because you realize that you don't need each other. Like friends shouldn't need each other. Like you like each other and they exist together and all of these things, but needy is not good. Doesn't mean that you don't care about them, doesn't mean you don't love them, but one can die and you still have to move forward. Doesn't mean you're not upset about it, but that's the way that life goes. So crying for you is probably not great because if you're saying that you're not emotionally strong as well, then it's probably not a great thing. But doesn't mean that it always has to be that way. It still has to be something that you have control over. Like you can't be an emotional wreck as a man. Emotional strength can come with physical strength as well. Because again, you're not going to be emotionally strong without a physical backing. Like if you're a pussy and you're running around, I don't know, built like Big Bird, and then you're like, oh, I don't know why I feel so vulnerable. You feel vulnerable because you're weak. Like that's normal. You're not vulnerable by choice. Like you're vulnerable because you have to be. Like you're no threat. Like someone can pick you up and just crumple you into a piece and throw you on the ground. Vulnerability with strength is a cheat code. Like that is the highest frequency. That's the superpower. Like if you have vulnerability with strength, it's game over. Like life itself is finished. Like you've conquered reality because you've come through you've done the full circle. You got strong because you probably got hurt by something, like as I have. I got a bunch of tattoos and all of these things because I had a very hard life. But then you realized through the strength, you got strong. You had the hardened moment where you're like, kind of the Terminator moment, as I have, the hardened shell. You're scared to be vulnerable. You don't want to get too attached to people. You're careful. Your life is a war and it's a battle. I mean, I've been to prison and it is much more of a war than people running around being influencers. But still, it's not in itself a war, but you have to you go through that full rotation. That's like a karmic cycle or it's a life cycle or whatever it is that you're to say. You've conquered that because at first you were probably a pussy and people treated you poorly because you're weak and then they're probably needy and you think that, oh, people should be nice to me because I'm nice. Doesn't work like that. You have to be strong, and then through the strength and the closed offness, because you close off when you get strong and you start, because that's the seed that pushes you to go to boxing or it pushes you to join the army or it pushes you to get hard. Like that's the thing. And in that moment, you're closed off because you're building the external, but the internal is often closed off. But then when the internal is built or the external is built to a point where you can defend yourself, people aren't pushing you around as much, they're not bullying you and shit like that because they're like, oh, this guy's probably quite strong now. Then you can conquer the inner battles because you now have the means to be able to conquer them. The inner battles are the hardest. Like, trust me, the inner battles is the Luigi Mangione quote where he says that once you've fought the inner battles, the external ones fall away. Someone asked him, they were like, oh, how do you handle knowing that you're in prison and you might be executed? And he said that once you've conquered all of the internal battles, the external ones fall over. Like they're not as hard. His battle was, I think, that he had a fucked spine for a long time. Like pain changes everything. Like if you're in a position of pain for a long time, it really fucks you up, specifically back pain. Those things and neck pain and shit, like for them, it's unrelenting. So that's the idea. Do you recommend isolation while building your life in your 20s? Isolation meaning mostly working and not going out as often. Downside is losing some of your social skills or detachment from others. For the most part, yes. For the most part, yes. Because you're doing shit at the low level. Like at the low, you'll always do shit at the low level anyway, because you haven't conquered all of that. You haven't got to a position where you can do shit at the high level yet. Doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you're not doing shit and that you're just completely isolated entirely. Like you can do some stuff like see some friends or see chicks or whatever, but you want to focus on working, probably business, building yourself up. I would build myself up in my 20s. Of course I didn't. I was selling drugs and taking drugs in my 20s. But then I still had the plan and shit and fell into life as it was. But some stuff was still quite lucky for me. You might not be as lucky. Hey, Stephen, we appreciate your content and your authenticity. What was your number one golden nugget from Grimberg? Thanks. My number one golden nugget from Grimberg is to think bigger. Just think that a lot of the things, and we put a lot of limitations on ourselves. We put a lot of the limitations on ourselves. A lot of the logic and things that we believe are not true. Everything that exists, I believe, exists already currently. And the Grimberg story is also that it's enough to live a life to have an idea and then die with that idea without praise. He didn't get a lot of praise. Like, he died a lot of time before he really got much people being like, he has something here. But his concept, he's not like he's the originator of the lattice idea, I believe, his style. But the Akashic records have already existed. Like, they've been a talked about thing for a period of time. I think he expands on it. But I think that there's parts of the stuff that's missing. But if you could combine him and Jung's ideas, I think that it would be quite way forward. But another idea is also a lot of the heroes. I'm not saying he's a hero and that he's amazing, but a lot of the people that we kind of could look to for the answers are dead, often in terms that were suspicious. That's the truth. Like, the truth is that we live in a world where all of your heroes are dead, or they had their tongue removed, like, for real. Their tongue was removed, or they've already been killed. It's the truth. We live in a world also where the ones presented, it's all bullshit. Like, that's the truth of the matter. A lot of the guys presented, they're pushing like consumerism, fuckboy ideas, division, separation, yelling at someone, either yelling at immigrants, the immigrants yelling at the white boys. That's the only shit that's pushed, yelling at women. That's the only shit that's pushed, division. Because everything exists in unity. Like, everything exists. Unity is a threat. You topple governments with unity. You won't topple shit with separation. That's why separation is that's prescription. That's why all of your content creators push separative concepts. Women suck. Women are bad. Don't get married. Don't do this. Don't do that. And marriage laws are set up in a way that incentivizes you not to get married, because they don't want unity. Like, unity is a problem. They want division. Understand that these products and things that are coming in 10 years, you'll be jerking off in VR. Some of you won't even see a girl, like, if you don't get your shit together, because girls don't need to see guys into the future. They can be monetized in different ways. They'll keep you separate as much as possible, like that. That's all coming. That's it. They can extract from you in a VR idea. Like, I mean, we'll see what CryptoMind is when it's finalized. It's just the nature of life. And yeah, I mean, like you say, like, got some skills says you probably haven't done tough shit in life. Like, you probably haven't done hard stuff yet. It doesn't mean that hard can be determinant of essentially what's hard for you. But you need physical strength behind you. If you have no physical strength behind you, don't worry about vulnerability. Like, no one will care. Like, no one will listen to you to be vulnerable if you have no strength behind it, because there's nothing behind it. Like, it sounds like whining. Like, when a masculine guy says he's had a hard day, people look in and they're like, okay, he probably had a hard day. When some soy boy runs in and says, I've had a hard day, everyone's like, no one cares. No one gives a shit. It's just that's the nature of life. Like, that's how it is. People respect something that's physically strong. And then if you can complete it by doing the full circle, that you can be vulnerable, like, you can open up, you can say things that you like or don't like or whatever, because you don't care it doesn't matter if someone disagrees with you. Like, you have physical strength behind it. They can't invade your space. They're not going to call you a whiner of all of that stuff. Any other questions, lads? I don't have a mouse for this, by the way. What's the question? Lie in the bed with no distractions. Meditate. You don't meditate. Meditation is a fucking bullshit concept. Meditation is dumb. Like, what reality exists in meditation? Like, you have to get good at being able to be in a state to align with the lattice while fucking not in a meditative state. That's real. That's where Grinberg fucks up. His idea is that they bring two patients together and they're in a separate room and they both put them in a meditative state and they've known each other for a period, and he can prove that they can align together or they can align to the lattice while in a meditative state. But what period are you in a meditative state? You need to be able to unite with the lattice all the time. and be able to decipher what's coming in that's as something that's quality or something that's not, which means that you need to be closer to a period of alignment. The closer that you are to your frequency that you're meant to be on, you start to notice things with reality itself as well. It's like reality, it starts to kind of slip away to a point where you can see it kind of as it is. It's a system, it's a computer system. You start to think of things and they sort of happen. You start to think of a person and they call you. These ideas are foreign, but because you're not on the right frequency yet. And how you move is like, it's like that you're on the ham radio and you got to turn it bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. And some of you can still hear the music, but it's still kind of broken. But over time, it can become more aligned. That's true. How to fix ultimate weakness, not having a sense of urgency and planning your day, week, month. You just have to do it. Plans are important. Like you have to do that. You have to separate that shit. Like it's true. You have to be able to fucking like plan your days and separate it into a schedule. If you can't build a schedule, like you're not going to make it. For a lot of you, you need a whiteboard. Like for real. You need a whiteboard. Like you need to write a whiteboard up. And then if you don't do the shit that you do, you need to punish yourself in some way. It's the nature of life for some of you because you didn't have a dad or someone that did that shit to you. So there's no punishment. Like it doesn't matter if you fuck up. It doesn't matter if you don't do what you're meant to do. Like there's no, you sacrifice who you will be in the future. Yes, but you don't get the punishment today. Your quality of life will diminish over time, but that's a slow punishment. You need to be a faster punishment. And that's the truth of the matter. Some guys do the push-ups and shit like that. Other guys are like, fuck it, I have to go to the gym now. I have to do this. I can't eat this. Like you have to take something away from yourself. That's not fun. Of course, that's the way that life is. If everything is fun-based, then you wouldn't get much done. Like everything that's valuable is not going to be fun. Like it's not going to be a fun thing. If you want to build a business, very little of it is fun. If you want to go to work and be in a career or make money, very little of that is fun. Because if it was fun, there would be no money. Like that's the thing. Being a fucking rubbish truck driver isn't fun, but they get paid quite good considering the job that they're doing. That's the idea. Do you think learning skills business? How do you separate truth from lies? How do you separate truth from lies? As you said, a lot of people are presented as these heroes, but 99% of them are bought. How do you determine who is real and who is fake? I just think you determine who resonates with you. Like we're in a world where you have to see who resonates with you, and that's it. Because it's, again, who you're meant to listen to. And often maybe it's the loudest person, maybe it's not. But it's the thing that I believe is a personal thing. Like, do you resonate with them for some reason? Do they trigger an emotional response? Do they make you angry? Do they make you feel something? Because there's probably something there. Even content creators that make you angry, some of you don't like liberals and shit like that. It's because there's a part of you that you're also not aware of. Something about them triggers you, yes, but you don't know why. And you need to start to look into that and study it. It's true. But all of this, content creators, and no content creator, including me, is going to live your life for you. Like, I can't tell you all of the shit to do because I don't personally know you. And even if I did tell you what to do, my vision of you might not be your highest self, like for you, because some of you aren't even open about what it is that you like or you want, or you haven't done the pen and paper. You haven't written down what it is that you fucking like to do. Some of you have a lot of goals and things, and you have a mindset of my life will start when I'm a millionaire. My life will start when this happens. I got to get to this body weight or some other crap. And that's all they're all just traps that we exist in. They're all delays, but your life is right now. And that's the way it is. You have to find joy in things in what you have now. Comparison is the thief of joy. Like comparing yourself to me is dumb. I'm 40 years old. I also have issues that I don't sit on here and discuss. You only see what you want to see. That's the truth of the matter. But that's the thing. Some of you will have a dream or something again, and you think that you can't just do it right now. Some guy will be like, oh, I like hiking and I would like to go hiking, but they don't do it for some reason. I'll go hiking when I make it. That's easy. You should just do it now. That's it. Life is not a guaranteed amount of time. It's finite. You do things again that are closer to bring you closer to God, as it were. Some people, that's hiking, camping, nature. Nature is recharges you. Grounding recharges you. No nature is not good for you. It's true. This synthetic world and things, synthetic world of that. See, isolation is one thing. I can tell you guys to essentially hermit and make something of yourself. But if you don't have any nature component, you don't have any creative outlet, you're not doing any creativity shit at all, you can end up with an addiction anyway and blow your whole life up. Because this, like, existing in a synthetic environment builds addictions, whether it's porn, it's distractions, it's some artificial crap like, food or some fucking like toxic crap. Some of you watching bullshit shows that just trigger you, watching like, I don't know, Fresh and Fit, and watching people yell at each other and then being like, oh, I don't know why I don't have what I want for some reason. As though that's not a fucking major sign. You can't watch any of that crap. And that's not to say that maybe you watch it for entertainment or whatever. I don't have a problem with the guys who run the show, but it's toxic. Like you're like a toilet that's just getting shit in, and then your head is full of shit, and then you think that it's not going to project a bunch of shit into your life. That's true. Like all of that stuff is obvious. Like really, a lot of these black pill or doomer content. Also, you need to not watch any more doomer content. For some of you, you need to watch no more anti-immigration shit. Like you need to not watch it, even though you know that it exists and you might not like it. You can't get involved in it. Like this Tommy Robinson and running around and doing all. You can't be involved in that crap. That's a concept of a lattice or matrix distraction as well. The idea is that a lot of the people that exist now are background people. They can research what that is, and that similar to the game Call of Duty Zombies, every year or every level is higher, and that it's louder. How it is in the lattice is every level is louder, like louder. So it's harder to focus because there's so many distractions, and they get louder all of the time. That's by design. Like whether it's far right or like you say, like far right content can be very distracting. Doesn't mean that some of it might be true, but what does it matter if it's true? Because everyone kind of already knows that it's true. Like you're stuck in that same pot. They've snared you. It doesn't matter how they did it. They got you involved in their cause, and in being involved in the cause, you make the cause stronger. It's true. Whichever side you're on, you make the cause stronger. Because if you're against it, then you show that they need all of these anti-Semitism laws. Like you're the reason they need it. And if you're against it, again, you're either for their people and then you're bolstering them, or you're against them and then you're the one that strengthens their laws. So either way, you're fucked in such a scheme. The only thing is to just accept things as they are and just sit back and be like, I can't change what's to come, because you can't. You can't change what's to come, like at all. All that you can do is throw your life away in the process. Some of you are picking up pennies in front of a steam train, like a freight train, and you're going to get fucked in this next reality. Some of you, I'll be looking at you and you won't even be on here because your social credit won't even be high enough to be able to use YouTube. Mine probably won't be either. But I'm a millionaire. I mean, maybe I won't be at that point. Who knows? Like there's a lot of things that they can take away from you in such an idea. Take your citizenships and shit. So you got to be careful with all these ideas. It's the nature of the game that we're in. Hey, so what's next for crypto? I already posted that I do believe that essentially the max pain will be up. Whether we have a period of down in like the next couple of weeks. I mean, it looks, I'm not saying cooked here, but it doesn't look great here. It looks like we can just range specifically for Ethereum to like 4 to 5K for, the next month or into the next FOMC meet. And there's not a lot of range here, but I do believe later in the year that we'll have a considerable breakout. I've had my targets for Ethereum at the end of the year. I think, we hit 6K pretty easily. So this cycle, Ethereum can be like 15 to 20K. Like people don't know this Bitmine treasury. They have unlimited pockets. This is Peter Thiel. They have unlimited budget. If they're buying on debt and buying on, financed cash and rates are going down, then they can buy a lot more. So it's a different bubble, or it's a different cycle than the last time the Fed started to aggressively cut, the markets have crashed, yes. And what will happen with AI itself? AI will move into a massive bubble, and it will be a super bubble, and that there's going to be a super bubble in speculative assets because also you're at a period where, so 2028, 2027, around there, you're at a period where people realize that they have no more, they're ready to take as much risk as they can. Like they need to take a lot of risk this cycle. So when rates and everything drops, a lot of people who are going to take on a lot of debt, and they're going to buy ultra speculative assets with it because they know that's their only chance. If they're to lose their house, if they're to lose things, doesn't matter. Like they're fucked anyway. Look, crypto will be the final lottery ticket. You'll watch like the crypto space of like, crypto tokens for AI, that space will be 500 billion to a trillion. I mean, what's to say that that whole space can be, because OpenAI is 500 billion. So 500 billion to a trillion. That's not a big move for that whole crypto space. So I think that crypto space for the AI sector will be a massive beneficiary, because a lot of normies, they can't get exposure to AI, and their exposure to AI is like what, Nvidia, like Palantir, not so much, but still kind of going to be an AI product. I mean, it's a data monitoring product with AI, and also what's to come of it will be a big part of the control structure in the future. The data monitoring side, because the data is very valuable, because it's essentially the blood of the AI system that's to come. All AI, that's what it needs, an unlimited amount of that currently. Trust me when I say that there's already a very big profile on you. He knows a lot of the shit that you're doing, a lot of the habits, shit, any purchases over like a lifetime. Likely already has access to all of your banking, all of your tax records, all of your treasury shit. There's already access to everything that you have. There's any sort of data footprint that you've left online, it already knows all of it. And not only that, it can predict future behavior on the past. It can predict who you, like some of you, it can predict who you were meant to be. Some of you can be predicted that you're a threat to a system, and in doing so, you're going to get fucked over. It's true. Prediction, see, when you have data, it's not, the data is the beginning, and then you go into the prediction phase, which is next. Who's going to be the next, something? Who was to be the next thing that could have been a problem for this specific genre? And then they get just suddenly die. And the guy's like, why did this nobody just commit suicide or die or something like that? It's because the models have now become predictive models. Like they've got enough information where they can predict what you were to become. And that's the truth of the matter. Like that's it. And then it's more valuable. Hey, can we ask you about AI products in crypto, considering this sector can blow up? I have to, for the SOE crypto guys, I have an AI group, but you have to come to see, because some of your holds in the AI sector, there could be like 2 years down the track. Like it could do nothing and we top by mid next year. And then AI sector itself can blow up and have a massive time in 2027, 2028. So you might be very much holding the crypto sector for like a 50% drawdown before it does well. Like that's true. That can happen. There's no timing, but I believe the singularity, it's already happened. I believe it happened a long time ago. But that's not to say that it's happened in normie land or anything like that. And what's happened now is it's very they've completely centralized that industry. They won't tell you what's happening until they've already finished it all off. It's all contained. The chat bots and all of this chatting and all of this shit, that's just the front end. That's just the data acquisition. That's just, what are you thinking about? What ideas do you have? You're testing their software, but it's the shit on the back end that you don't know about. The back end will be essentially it's taking a lot of your ideas and building a profile on you. You think that you're teaching it, and then over time it will start to teach you. That's it. A lot of it's so valuable to have those ideas too, because you can change history inch by inch by inch. And that's the idea, that's what I'll do. There will be a time where you'll talk to your kids, or you'll talk to someone and you'll tell them something that happened, and you'll be 100% correct. But then they'll just jump online and type it in and be like, Dad, you're wrong. This, you're getting old. You forgot that this was different. The shooting, the guy who got shot. There'll be a time 10 or 20 years down when you type it in chat GPT, what happened? Can I get a video or what happened or whatever this is? And they'll have a software that they can just remake the video and change certain little key elements and things of what happened, and change little key elements of who the person was. That's the beauty of it. The winner changes history, and this tech can change history in a way that's never been done before. I saw that online they banned one of these is it one of the Christian websites or the Catholic websites? One of the main ones where the guys look to get scripture in the UK. They banned it, so you can't look at it online. These ideas are very different. These ideas that are coming about and to be coming into the future. I would believe also that you're probably dealing with an altered Bible already, though. I never thought that it was altered, but I would believe it actually is altered now. I think they've altered key parts of it as well. I think they altered something as well, where they've pulled out that your power is internal, and now your power is external. Your power in connection to God is here, but they've done it in a way that they do it with everything else, that actually you need a middleman, or you need other shit. You need some church or something else, because there's Pope. He's your boss. See the beauty of that? Like, he's the guy that you should look to for something, for some reason. It's a Tommy Robinson concept. Like, they always need one to control the masses, because the masses are dangerous without control. Like, if you only pulling from the lattice on your own, you don't need all of the other crap. You're a threat. Like, you're a problem now. They always need some head figure, because then you can control the ones under that. Without that, the masses are dangerous under such an idea. Like, if you knew the power inside, I think that's like they pulled chapter. I would believe they've probably pulled chapters out of the Bible that essentially were to show many things, other than that you are also. I don't want to say like God or Jesus or anything like that, that you're not the highest self, but there's parts of God in you. Like, you can do magic in some way. What's to be determined as magic in this world? But you can do things that are like kind of transcends time and space. I believe it's true. Like, some of the miracles that Jesus Christ did, I'm not saying that you can replicate them, but you have a little bit of that glimmer in you as well. Like, there's a little bit of him in you as well, of that idea. Like, a little bit of something special or different. You're not just skin and bone. Like, there's a lot more to you than meets the eye. You don't see the God within you. You know, whether it's like you have a fraction of it inside you, you still have something there. There's something more there than just this like meat bag that we're walking around in. There's something more there, and you have flashes and moments where you can feel like a connection to it. I believe that. And I think that when you study it, and if you were to see the value in yourself and the qualities of yourself, I think that you could hold such a thing for longer, and you would be a lot luckier in life, and you would be able to curate your reality much more if you looked internal for a lot of the stuff that you look externally for. It's true. That's the matter. Again, but Bible itself to me is that you have to live in a period of alignment. The closer that you are in a period of alignment, like your morals, your structure, if you're traditional, are you a traditional man? Are you a fuck boy? And if you are, it's okay. But you own who you are. Like, you are as you say you are. You present as you are. You live aligned. Again, mind, body, and soul start to merge into one person. I think when your mind, body, and soul start to push into one person, you become very like a big threat. Because it's very hard to, like, that's the thing with like Muslim people and things like that. Some of them, they have a very deep conviction in what they believe in, and that's why they can do a lot of like shit where people are like, I can't believe that they did that. Like, some people insults their prophet and they'll just murder them, like, for real. But it's because they have a very deep conviction in what they believe in, and they don't let people shit on their stuff. That's powerful. Whether you agree with what it is or not, that's powerful. Like, they believe it, so they won't let you fuck around with their stuff. You can't run in a mosque and like piss on the floor. You'd probably be killed in there. Like, they take that stuff very serious. Whereas I think if a church, if someone did it, they wouldn't take it as serious. Like, people would be more like, because turn the other cheek is the biggest psyop that a lot of you were sold. Like, that's a fucking pure psyop. Like, 100% sure it is. Obviously, slap me and I'll just turn the cheek and slap me again. Like, cowardice is morality for some reason. People can just push you around. Like, you have a God, but he's happy that you get pushed around for some reason. You exist as a lamb. That's a psyop. Like, pretty obvious. Anything that pushes you to be weak and submissive and supplicate is a psyop. It's true. Like, it's obvious. You don't recognize the power in yourself. You don't learn anything from like the Crusades or the times back then when everything was managed by a sword. You think everything now is managed by like you're such a good guy that means that like someone can hit me and I just turn and let them hit me again. This guy can fuck my wife next. Like, none of that shit is like, that's not it. Like, bravery is a big part of it. You wouldn't be here if someone wasn't brave along the way. Whatever it is that you believe. So I believe a lot of the Bible itself is like rewritten. I think it's pretty obvious because the enemy of everything is Christianity. Like, they're the biggest enemy in the game. So of course, I mean, like, why wouldn't you fuck with their stuff? Like, look at how they treat them now. If they can fuck them over in any way, they do it. So, I mean, that wouldn't have been a big thing to change a lot of stuff in that regard. That would have been easy, like, compared to shit that they can do now. And then into the future, they'll change even more. Like, they'll change little terms and there'll be new little chat shit where you type things in and they change little piece by piece and then it just gets distorted. So it's distorted in a way that like Christianity is like kind of, you walk around the churches, a lot of people there are pussies, like soy boys. like running around being like, "Oh, I'm brave because I'm a lamb," and all this. That's dumb. Like that's dumb. Like that's why a lot of the people have been conquered. Like it's good to just like let people tread on you for some reason. It's not like any instinct that you have, even if it's rage. Everything that exists is meant to be there. If someone's to be pushing you around and you feel aggressive because that's how it's meant to be. Like the creator gave you that thing, he gave you a compass. Why would he let you your biggest thing is your God, but someone can just shit on it and you don't care? Like you just sit back and you're like, oh well, it happens. Do you know? Like I would see clips of like someone's in I don't know, like a Christian church in Euro or something, and someone just jumps up on the fucking thing and starts like smashing the place up, and there's like 50 or hundreds of people there, and they just watch the guy. Can you imagine what would happen if someone did that in a mosque? That guy would be dead. Like they don't fuck around in that regard, and that's why I respect that. Like it's your deepest religion is your biggest thing. It should be, if that's what you believe. And someone can just piss on it in front of you, and you just sit there and you're like, oh, it's okay. They come into your place. It's different if they did it in public, whatever. Maybe it's you could understand, but they deliberately come in your place to shit it up. They didn't have to be there. They're not even from that country. So it's a double slap in the face. And then people sit there and think that like that they're like doing the right thing for some reason. And then the others are barbarians because they would snap and probably stab the guy. I don't believe that the others are barbarians. I believe that they have more conviction. Their religion is a massive thing to them. That's it. That's the difference maker. Like that's the thing. And I don't believe like, religion when it's in the Euro and things like that. And some people look in and they're like, oh, these guys are Muslims. It's not that, it's that a lot of people there are low IQ. Like they've come in with like a 60 IQ. It's not that they're one religion. It's that you could put them anywhere as any religion and they'd probably also fuck up. They're just uncivilized, like dumb, fucking really dumb. They don't have any front end is not developed at all. Their like front is not developed. Their reasoning and rationale is not there. That might take like hundreds of years for them to develop that, if they can at all. They don't have a conscience. They're not connected to the lattice at all. They're completely unaligned. They're not connected to anything. I would believe that a lot of those people don't have a soul. I think that they're just purely background people entirely. They're not they haven't hit a certain level where they're like even really like, are they human as we are? If someone's like 60 IQ, are they the same as us? Like, to really believe that? I don't. They haven't hit a level of consciousness where they're like they're not self-aware. Like self-aware, I think you have to be a certain level of an intelligence. You have to be a certain level of intelligence that's like, to be conscious. Like you kind of wake up where you're like, oh, I'm here. And if I like, smash something, someone else is like fucked over as well. So I probably shouldn't do that because I wouldn't like it if someone did that to me. Oh, if I run up and steal your phone, I probably shouldn't do that because if someone stole my phone, I wouldn't be very happy. And then if I steal their phone, they might steal the next person's phone. And then eventually the place will just be a shithole. They don't have that. But a lot of you got fooled that the mafia was bad. See, that was a big psyop. The mafia is not bad. They're not the bad guys. They often they live there. They live in those communities. They used to live there and they had their family there. And people don't fuck around because they know that like they're not going to put up with that. Like if there's specific groups and they specifically run that area, they're not going to just let people come in and shit the place up because you might hurt their kid. That person might shit on or hurt their wife. That person might run into a business that's paying protection and steal from it. And then they'll go and cut the guy's hand off. Like those ideas, they needed to exist because now that idea is run by the police and the police are too busy. Like they can't run and do things like that. And a lot of people from certain groups, they only understand violence because again, their conscious is not fully evolved. So when they go to prison, it doesn't matter. Like that, you're not dealing with a guy who's sitting in there being like, oh, I can't believe that I did this and it was a bad decision. I feel really terrible. They don't feel like that. They don't feel. They have no impulse control. They're not conscious as we are. Our punishments that work for us don't work for them. They understand the stick, the rod, the fucking knife, and a gun. That's all they understand. That's the concept. So when you look at like mafias and shit of how people give them a bad rap, and I'm not saying there aren't bad actors and things like that. I'm sure that they exist, but as a rule, they're not. They were necessary. and now they've been removed because a lot of the leadership and things got disbanded and jailed and things like that. And now you see how people look after the country, specifically when they're not from the country. Like they're not from there. They don't have family there. A lot of them don't have any roots there. They don't have any reason to help you. Like, why would they? A lot of the others, they had like a name that had been there for hundreds of years or something. Like they've been in certain countries for a very long time. And then they got disbanded or like, put under consorting laws and things like that. Because I'm not saying that there's not bad actors in that space, because again, there can be some, and I'm sure there are some, and some people get hurt along the way. But that was a system that did work, because you can't just fuck around. Like in the UK and London and things like that, they had groups there, like in the past, up to probably the 90s, and you couldn't just fuck around in that spot, because if you fuck around in the wrong district and you run in and, I don't know, push a lady over with a pram, or like, do something, or sell bad drugs in a certain spot, and then you get a visit at your house and you just get smashed. Like they know that was their spot. It was monetized, like they run that area, and now they don't. And now you see there's no one running, there's no one watching the stuff. Like the police are too busy. The police come after and they have rules. They don't, like, the deterrent is also that I don't want to do something because I might do something to the wrong person and they might just shoot me. Like you run around countries that can be like, I don't know, Russia or places like that. You don't want to fuck with the wrong people in places like that, because it's not the police that you would be worried about. Like you can upset the wrong people and just be gone. So people know that, and as such, it's Russia's a high trust society. Japan's like that. Japan is, or it used to be. I think that's changing now, but it used to be. They have their gangs and things that they have. It runs very, like, you don't know that it exists if you don't get involved. Like if you don't try to be involved in it, or try to be violent, or try to be things like that, you don't know that it exists. It exists in the background. And then if you do something in that sector, you realize quickly that it does exist, but you don't. But they're high trust society. Like you walk around Japan and you see it. They can put their shit down in Tokyo and no one touches it. If you were to walk down the street and collapse and have a heart attack, people try to help you. Like the Asians will try to do something to help you in some way. Whereas a lot of the others, like in those shitholes, they'll just steal your watch. People fucking take your gold teeth out and shit. Like they're animals. They're not civilized. You imported animals. They're not human like me. Like they're not. Because if I see someone go down, I don't care if they're like black, brown, whatever. I'll try to help them. Even if I have my arm on, I'll try to help someone if I can. And that's me. I'm a multi-millionaire. But I was always like that. So that's the saying. You've seen it, like there's a lot of documented shit if someone goes down in a car wreck or a car accident and then someone comes in and steals their wallet. Like for real, like someone's already down and the first thing is your response is to start picking their pockets. They're vultures. Like as people, they're vultures. Like people like that. They exist solely. They'll never add any value. Like they'll never add anything to society. They only know how to take. They come in and it's like the trust just the roads immediately. They're a skid mark on the world, and they always will be. Doesn't matter how much aid and immigration or anything that you give them, it will never happen. All that will happen is that essentially it dilutes the rest. Like that's the design. Don't you see it's a dilution? It's a dilution. Like that's all it is. To lower your IQ and lower you'll find that there'll be new diseases and shit that will come about. Too much mixing is not a good thing. And that goes all ways. It's not designed for that. It's not like it's too much. It's not that's not the way that the world is meant to be. Like everything is separated for a reason. Like didn't you see that? Like countries and everything's separated. It's designed that way. It's the nature of the game. All that ends up happening is you just dilute down to that no one is anyone anymore. It's like a big soup. Like everyone's just thrown in one spot. But the ones who are setting the rules and the laws and the elites, they don't mix. Do you wonder why? They're pushing for purity. They tell you to go the opposite. Why do you think that is? Also, it doesn't mean anything to be you. Like when you mix too much, it doesn't mean anything. Oh, my mom is this country and my dad is this country. And now I don't remember where my granddad is just from a fucking complete random spot. You lose your history because there's a lot of power in your lineage. The elites know that. Like they have the photo of dad on the wall, granddad. There's a lot of power in your ancestry. Like you can pull on them as well. You really can. Don't want to say too much around the lattice because a lot of people don't really understand it. But certain quests or certain things that you achieve, you can get people that like. So say that you do right by someone, you can almost like take them on and they become like an angel for you into the future. Like your luck is on a multiplier of those things. And it also goes to the other extreme. If you fuck people over, your luck can be the other extreme where it's actually people start accumulating demons around them. It's not that they're accumulating demons like Lucifer, they're accumulating demons, which is a bad energy because they did shit that was unaligned. Like someone trusts you and you do bad shit to them. Someone car crashes and you steal their wallet. Like, yes, they're accumulating a bunch of bad shit too. But by my saying is that they don't actually have a conscience anyway. If you don't have a conscience, I don't believe that like it doesn't matter. Like you're not even in the game. It's like you're playing, I don't know, like World War Z, and then all of a sudden like a million new zombies pull up, but it doesn't matter. Like it's like they just spawned in, but they don't have a conscience, likely don't have a soul. They're just noise. Like the lattice has just presented a million new background people to you to make life harder, yes. But that's just noise. They're not made of the same stuff that you are. Because I know I can't do the behaviors that they can do. And why is that? We're very different. It's not just different in that one is poor and one is not. We're different morality. I would jump off a building before I would run around and be a pickpocket. I don't have that sort of thing in me. I'm not a skid mark on the world. I would just not exist anymore. But that's the thing. Like leaking on others is the lowest vibration. Like you exist to leak on other people. Like you're just shitting the world up. That's the thing that again, if you don't have your shit on control. Thoughts on Asta? I'm tempted to go big in it. I'm up 5x already, but only put 10% into it. Well done. I would be cautious now. What is it, like $1.70 or something like that? And all of the KOLs are telling you that it's going to $10. I'd be cautious. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it has a period of correction down to like $1 at some point, whether it crosses $2 first and then that becomes a very heavy top. I would believe for a considerable period. But people are talking to me like Asta, something's going to go to a B&B valuation. I don't believe it. I mean, it's pretty obviously not going to happen. I'm pissed off because I had fucking so much B&B at 20 cents and I sold it $1. It's $1,000 now. I would have been fucking, I don't know, like 50 million or more in that one trade. I don't know how to cope from that shit. I got in super early. CZ used to follow me online. And then I remember that I invested in Ascendex. This is with CZ and BNB. Binance was nothing. It was like 25 million that they raised. I was in at 20 cents. And then I've been in Binance forever. I have one of the earliest accounts. And then, I've just fucking sold BNB and we had invested in BitMax, which is now Ascendex. And we invested in that platform. And then I kind of followed that and posted that. CZ stopped following me because he saw that I was posting another exchange. And then Ascendex was okay, but BNB was massive, and I would have made 50 million on that trade. But I sold heaps early. I sold when they got kicked out of China. It's the nature of the game. That's without airdrops. I mean, with the airdrops, I probably doubled that. It is what it is. That's crypto, though. You have to be able to bounce back. You can't live in the L's. Taken a lot of L's in that regard, but I've also had some very big W's. And this I'm more interested in building infrastructure. Like I'm more interested in taking the reins of being able to build the infrastructure. I'm building something on Base as well. I'm building a product of tech on Base. So I'm building crypto mine and then I'm building another tech as well, which will be a protocol on Base chain. And it should be out, I would imagine, January, something like that. And it's something new on Base, but it's also going to capitalize that I do believe Base chain will pop off when they actually launch a token. So I'll be there in that moment. I'll be actually ready with my protocol, which is cool. It's actual, not a shit coin. It actually has utility. I'm only interested in building like protocols or actual tech, building a chain. I hope to build a chain for crypto mine, its own chain. I'm not interested in like launching a meme. Like that's pointless for me. I only want to launch something that has value. It's revenue generating. So that's the idea of that. But yeah, the crypto is very good. You just have to be, like I say, like ready for these chains to be in them as they pop off, right? Like, you see Base, they'll launch a token most likely. I think it was Jesse Polak, is that the guy's name? Pollock, it's whatever the fuck it is. But like right there for the devs, and I believe that he's quite smart with all of that. But base itself is underbuilt on, like it is. There's a very underdeveloped chain. There's a lot of the stuff on there. It's not very developed, like compared to the others. And a lot of people will be pushing to develop on it once the token things goes live because there'll be a lot of liquidity and eyes on it. Thoughts on Brett? I think Brett will do well. I actually think Toshi will outperform it from here. I would believe it. I was in Toshi at like 10 million or 20 million. I sold most of my tokens at like 600 million or something. I think I made 1.5 million, something like that. Are you saying that we lose into enlightenment because of being in interracial relationships? Don't our bloodline of our ancestors still protect and guide us? I don't say that you lose alignment because of interracial relationships, but I think that your bloodline just becomes like, again, you lose the ancestry connection. I think that they've studied it. I mean, you need to read studies if you want to have kids in that sector. They've done many studies. Now they're suppressing them. That essentially it can create more problems. This is true. I mean, you can read the studies and look online and all of the stuff. It's not to say it's me standing there being racist or this and that, because I'm not. Me saying my preference is not racism. Do I think low Doge will be a play again when Musk releases money for in a few months? Yeah, I do think Doge runs to $1. Doge can run to $2 this cycle, like for real. That will be a big thing. This accumulation funnel in Doge now around this price, it will be, it will pop off. Doge runs $1 this cycle. I do believe it. What do I think about virtuals? I'm in virtuals. I hold some. I think it's okay. I think it's good project. I don't. Do I have massive faith in it now? Because what's the market cap, like 200 million or something? Do I think its valuation is fair at this price? I don't know how it's going to be a multi-billion-dollar project or something. I think it would have been good at like 10 million or 20 million, but now it's already quite high valuation, I believe. So that's the thing. Yeah, Astra Exchange is crappy. Yeah, well, yeah. There's not much. There's not really much there on a lot of these products, like a lot of the projects and things like that. It's not so much that the project is good. It's just that backers, like it's backed on speculative hype. It's backed that CZ just posted a meme of a guy holding 4 fingers. Like that's what it's diverged down to. Guys just get rugged and liquidity gets like disappears into the ether. But at least it's happening on BSC instead of just on Sol. What if you are interracial, but you end up with a more genetically superior from the physical aspect? I don't think that you would. Like, I mean, I don't know why people want to mix so much. Like, why do you want to mix so badly? Are you admitting that one race is superior to the other? Like, why would you want to mix so badly unless you can say one is inferior and others are superior? That's my idea. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I think it's pretty normal that people like people who look like them. And if they like people who look very far from them, I mean, I don't understand it, right? Because there's different levels, right? There's like, you're going with someone who's completely the opposite to you, or you're going with someone who's a little bit different. I mean, there's levels to it, right? But I don't know. For me, I just don't understand the logic of someone who wants to have kids that look like neither the mother or the father. I'll say that. I know it's controversial and people will look in and be like, oh, I don't know who would want that. Then you have your kid pushing it in the pram and they're like, who the fuck is this kid? Like, he looks like neither you or the mother. And then you start, that doesn't work well. It doesn't hit the eye well. What heritage are you teaching? Because both can run contradictory. Are you just forcing the kid now to lose his mother's identity? Or are you going to teach both? See, these ideas are, now you're creating crap. Like, it can be very different. Like, one culture can be completely the opposite to another, and you have to teach both now. You can't just have a kid and then completely delete the mother's lineage, because that's selfish. That's dumb. Because she loses her strength and her identity has been souped away. So now you have to commit to such ideas. That's it. It's not a game. Like, people think it's a game because a lot of people have fetishized. They like this racial idea because it's a fetish, and they don't understand the difference between a fetish and something that's got legs. A lot of people watch like fetish porn online and shit like that. They don't realize it's a fetish, and they're going to be birthing a kid into such an idea. Oh, here's my kid, and he looks nothing like me, but he looks nothing like his mum either. Oh, I'm pushing my kid in the pram, and I'm, you know, now a laughing stock because people look in, and if my kid's black and I'm white, people will be like, "What the fuck happened to this dude?" Like, do you not see these like things? Like, you push someone in an environment where they're to be bullied. Like, this is ideas that have legs. Like, this is a person. This isn't about you. It's not about having a fetish and thinking, "Oh, but I'm gonna tap some ass like this." It's not about that. You're bringing a kid into this. They have to live this life forever. They might look nothing like either of you. They might have more genetic issues because it's not something that's meant to happen. It's not. This is quite selfish. Such an idea in my view. I don't like the agents on virtual. Really, I don't. That's to say that I don't know all of them, but I just don't. I don't really see anything there that's happening. Like, I remember I looked into it, but I haven't looked into it for a few months. I think the AI agents is mostly like crap. Like, it's mostly a thing that anyone can do in like 2 seconds to build one. There's no actual value there. Like, the value to be created can be created by someone else quickly. That's my idea for virtuals. What about Tau? Tau is good because I think that can be a competing product for what I'm building. But I think that, yeah, Tau is good. I think that it runs, it can run 6 to 800. What's it now? Like 240 or some shit like that, or more? Well, let me check my phone. One second. Yeah, BitTens. Okay, 340. Yeah, I think Tau runs like 6 to 800 this cycle. Tau would be a big winner, right? But actually, yeah, it's probably quite a good valuation. I think it's 3x. I said, I think it can run like $800 or something this cycle, close to a 3x. But the valuation is high, right? Yeah, but this shit, like, but as a man, historically, want the child to assimilate into your culture. Genghis Khan. You're not Genghis Khan. Like, you're not. He was a fucking warlord. That's it. Like, that's the idea. Like, yeah, assimilate into your culture, but like, why don't you assimilate into your own culture? Like, why do you have to come to someone else's shit? I don't get it. Like, why do you want to be in their spot? Like, they built their spot. That's it. I just don't get it because they're never going to fit in. Like, that, right? Like, if I go to Poland and I marry a Polish girl, I'm still white, but I'm never going to be a Polish guy. Like, I'm never going to fit in. I'm always going to be an outsider. They're going to have their language and things. And even if I learn their language, they're not going to accept me. I'm an outsider. I'm never going to be able to breach a certain perimeter. And then if I was a black guy over there, it would be even worse. That's the truth. Like, people are racist. Yes. People that matter are racist. Of course. I get it for me. I get it for tattoos and all of the shit. People say that. It's just the way that they are. Like, people, they always will be. This fantasy of everyone's going to live together and everyone will see me as I am for some reason, they won't. Worst thing is that they'll see your kid under the same lens and your kid will suffer for your decisions. They won't feel that they belong to either. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, I'm an Australian, but you're a black dude. Unless you're an Aboriginal, you'll never be Australian if you're black. It's built by convicts from England. It's built from white people. Like, that's the fact. As such, if I run to Africa and I go, but I've got an African passport or something, Nigerian passport, I'll never be Nigerian, nor would I ever be accepted to be one. I'll always be an outsider, and that's just the way it is. It's the way that it's set up. If I was to run around and be like trying to fuck their girls or get a wife there or something, I would expect pushback. Like, why would I want that? Is that like, do I have some sort of fetish or something? A lot of that stuff is a fetish. Like, you guys don't realize you've been fed a lot of Coomer ideas from like Pornhub and shit. And it's a fetish. Like, you think that like, oh, I'm a black guy, but I want a white girl because like they're so much better at all of this crap. They're just women. Like, they're much the same. It's a fetish. Like, it's something you go there and you're very different. Like, you're going to go to those countries and you're going to be extremely different. Sometimes the girl will be laughed at because she's with you. You won't fit in there, specifically if you're not born there. As such, I wouldn't fit in if I was to run to Nigeria and be hanging out with them and doing all of this stuff. The girl that was with me would be laughed at. It's the nature of the game, and your kid will be laughed at when they're there. They just won't laugh at it to your face. But your kid will suffer a lot of gatekeeping and a lot of bullshit. There's some things that you're just born into, and you have to accept that you are, and that's just the nature of life. Stop trying to like change the way that the creator created you away, and now you're trying to be like, this was unsuitable. I'm smarter, and I'm going to change everything. All that's going to happen is you're going to turn into like a soup person, and you're going to look at your kid and be like, my kid looks like a monstrosity. Like this idea of like looking and like being like, oh, look at my interracial kid looks so beautiful. Most of them are fucking ugly. Some can be like a fucking rare. But the further that you go of the distance, like an extreme, it looks weird. Like if I was to run around and I don't know, go to like Nigeria and get a wife or something, then Nigerian people can look good, but with me they won't, because I look like fucking this. They'll look like neither here nor there. As such, if it was to be the opposite, I was to run around and do, they don't look like me. So it doesn't mix well. It looks weird. It can look like you got like white and black features. You end up looking like a black person that looks like they've got like that fucking shit where that is completely white. It just doesn't work. It's mostly a fantasy. Like it's a fantasy cooked up on Pornhub, and people haven't seen the outcome yet because it hasn't really has pretty new. Like everything. Muhammad Ali went on lives and he used to say that people shouldn't mix, and then they cancelled him, and then he got sick. He's smart. He's right. That's not to say that you should like, you can go a little bit, of course, but I mean, complete opposites is just too extreme. Like it doesn't make sense. A lot of people have been fetishized and they haven't even lived in a country where they're like, I'm going to go find a bride in this country that's completely the opposite to country that I've never visited. And then they get there and they find that like the people, they had a fucking idea that was a Hollywood idea in their head, and the people are very different to what they expect. I have ideas like some guys think like, oh, I want to go to Australia and meet girls like these white girls are like, I see guys be like, they're more submissive and stuff like that. They're not. Like you probably never have dealt with Aussie girls. They don't put up with much shit. They're quite strong, actually, you would find. But again, that's like a Hollywood theater stuff. Some guys will say that about Asian girls. They can be polite, but I wouldn't really say that they're not doormats as a people. They're not. Like, and some people will say it about other people from certain countries or others. A lot of that stereotypes. If you've never been there, like go there first and then live it at least, and then you'll know that how it is for real. Not off Pornhub or like, you watched a fucking show. I watched our neighbors from my country and my fucking village. I'm going to go land a fucking chick from there. It's not real. Like it's not, that's not how fucking people are. And again, like it's pretty normal that if people are talking about running around to meet your girls and stuff like that, you're not going to be that happy about it. I wouldn't be. As such, it's like me. If I was to run around Poland and shit like that, I know the Polish aren't going to be very happy with me running around their country trying to fuck their girls. Like that's the nature of life. Like you should be proud of your people. I'm proud of my people in Australia the same. So there should be a level of gatekeeping, and that's just the way it goes. Like that's masculine. I'm in Dubai, but I never would try to hit on a Emirati girl or a girl that's Muslim because I'm not Muslim. I don't run around and try to get with people when I'm too different. I'm not from their denomination. So I respect that and just stay away from them. Like, how is that so hard to do that? That's normal. So I don't get it. Like people coming in and they just think that they're coming in like some fucking pirate to try and take shit from other people. I don't get it. For real. Any other questions? How would I hold Pengu? I made 250% gains still holding a small bag. Maybe. It just comes to see how it goes. I think that we're going to have obviously, I think that there'll be a very speculative alt season when Doge runs $1. Whether that happens in Q1, Q2, that will happen by mid next year. So obviously, if Doge is to go a 4x, I think that you'll see like, Toshi could do like a 10x. I think that we'll have a mania in that period. I think Toshi 10x's from here, 5 or 10x's. I'll go out and say it, even though it seems like the valuations are massive, because I do think Doge runs $1. It's the nature of the game. Would I ever move back to Oz? I can't live in Oz, I would believe. Probably not. Because I think that my issues and my stuff and the stuff that I've talked about, I think that I'll have problems in that country. It's the nature of life. I've been to prison before. It's easy to fuck me over again in that regard. They never forget. If you've been to prison in a country, you're very likely to want to leave that country or at least leave the state. It's a lesson that you know that if you've ever been in trouble with the legal system in one state and it's serious, and you get off it, or you at least like do your time and get out. You should leave that state because they'll fuck you over again eventually. You'll be on something, and they'll just be like, "Oh well." The only way they won't fuck you over is if you're a loser. If you're like a loser that stays away from everything and they never see you again, they won't fuck you over. But if you drive past in a Ferrari or a Lambo or something, and they're gonna fuck you in the ass, like they're gonna be like, "Oh well, let's pull this guy over and see who he's probably back doing crime or something." They always see you as a criminal. You can never get past that framework. And I'm not saying that the police are bad or they're corrupt or anything like that. They just don't see many people change. Like parole is the same. Most people in parole, a lot of them will breach their parole. They won't do a proper parole. They'll end up back in jail. So when you're on parole and you go there, they just assume that you're lying to them all the time because they deal with a lot of people that are lying to them. A lot of people take drugs and then say they don't take them and then fail drug tests. So they deal with a lot of that shit, but then that's all that they see. So that's the danger of it. All right, lads. So we're wrapped up 2 hours again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. And thanks for coming in as always. I think that racial shit will probably get me in trouble, but that's the fucking game, you know. But as such, I say that as a non-racist person for sure. But some people don't see that. Yeah, I would never. But I also hire staff. I've fucking sat in prison. I've sat in prison. One of my cellmates was a black guy, and we used to share food together and didn't have really shit. So we looked after each other. So I have no problem with people like that. I just have my own ideas, but I would never push them on others. All right, lads. Talk to you soon.